Hey guys, what's up? So, today's video is quite simple. It's going to be self-explanatory, I think, for the most part. And it is doing translations to improve your level in language learning, to improve your new acquisition of vocabulary and even fluency. Now, for translations, I suggest you do this once you have a pretty good grasp on your target language, like you're learning Swedish and you just started like a week or two ago. I would say don't worry about translations yet. If you're more intermediate, then I'm like, yeah, do translations. That would be much more beneficial to you. Right. So the reasons we want to do translations is because, well, for one, we learn certain expressions, right? So depending on what you're translating, you're gonna get, I guess, real world language, right? Ideally, when you do this, you're translating a native speaker, whether that be through a song or perhaps a movie or just real life. Like you just jot down what they say and then you translate it. But whatever the medium may be, once you're translating from Swedish to like English or whatever language, you're gonna run into difficulties. You're gonna be like, oh, well, how do I say that in English, or how do I say that in Swedish, right? You could translate from English to Swedish or from Swedish to English. Both ways is beneficial to you. But while you're doing that, you're gonna come across certain expressions and you're gonna find ways of communicating that in either language, which is gonna help you grow as a language learner. Which is why I think translations are super important to do. And for translation, just do things you're interested in. Don't bother translating difficult text unless you like doing that. If you genuinely like it, then do it. But I typically translate songs, which are probably hard to translate because, at least in my experience, sometimes singers say things that are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Under a certain context. So, like, the things they sing about are within a very specific context, which makes things even harder to translate than if they weren't. That's usually what I do. For the most part, I usually just translate lyrics as I hear them, or if not, put on like a video on YouTube, and as the dude is talking, I'll just translate in my head or sometimes orally. Depends on my mood. But yeah, typically it's lyrics. Just find lyrics online, your favorite artist or band, or movies or TV show. Just translate, get a feel for it. So at the beginning, if you never translated, here's a quick tip and pretty easy one. So perhaps when you're about to translate, assuming you're a beginner in terms of translating, you might not know, but you actually don't want to translate word for word. You don't want to do that. Why? Because when you do that, you're not exactly using every word in context, right? So ideally, you want to find. So if there's a Swedish sentence right here, I'll get chopsticks. It's easy to visualize. If there's a Swedish sentence right here, and I want to make it English, it is better for me to first, one, read it all and understand it, and then two, figure out how to convey the same meaning in English. All right. Now, when I say convey the same meaning, that doesn't mean use the same words that make up the Swedish sentence, all right? Because English is not Swedish. That's never going to happen, okay? So, remember, when you, and this for any language, it'd be German or Gerbil, look at the sentence as a whole. Don't translate word for word, all right? Sometimes you get lucky and it works out. Other times you don't. Try to understand the overall meaning and then just convey that meaning back into English. Or from English, you get a sentence in English, and then you convey that meaning now into Swedish, right? And that's not going to be word for word. All right. Doing that will help you think also outside the box a little bit, hopefully. It'll help you master your new target language. I'm not learning Swedish, it's just the first one that popped into my mind. But yeah, you do this with any language, and give it time. You know, when you try new things, like when you start doing translations and stuff, in terms of progress, give yourself like maybe 3 weeks to see some progress. It obviously depends how often you do it, how long you do it, and all that. But yeah, I usually give myself like 3 weeks, to kind of track something, see if it's really working or not. And if it is, do it more, maybe tweak it. It's not working as good as it should be, maybe tweak it some more. But yeah, it depends. So yeah, find something, translate it. And again, this is for more advanced speakers. If you are a beginner, you could do this, obviously. Technically, yes, you can. However, as a beginner, I really don't do it myself, and I think while it would be slightly beneficial, I think it'd be more of a headache, because as a beginner, you want to be looking at more words, and that's really not the point. It's not to be looking up every word, right? That's why it's not for beginners, I don't give it to beginners as a typical advice, because I don't want them looking up every word either. But when you're more intermediate or advanced, you don't look up every word. You probably know all the words, but then you gotta figure out how to put them together in the right sequence so it makes sense. So it's doing things like that are, I think, more beneficial rather than just having to look up every new word. So if you're a beginner, I would caution you not to use this technique just yet. Wait till you're more advanced. All right, so you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, let me know. I'll do my best to respond. And like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. If you get value out of the video, just share it, get more views. All right, thank you, and good.